At this point, we have all our sound effects implemented in the Zombie Toys project. The player and the enemies make sounds when they're hurt and defeated, and all of the weapons have audio effects associated with them which add realism to their graphical effects. Now it's time to add the background music. The background music really enhances the overall experience of playing a game. I'm going to start by creating an empty game object to hold the audio source that's going to play my background music. I'm going to go to my hierarchy window and select Create, Empty. I'm going to rename this empty game object Background Music. On this game object, I'm going to add an audio source by clicking Add Component, Audio, Audio Source. I'm going to click the circle select next to the audio clip property and locate the sound I want this audio source to play. In this case, I'm going to choose Music Revision 1 Loop 1. For the output, again I'm going to click the circle selector and I'm going to choose the Music audio group on my Master Mixer audio mixer. I do want this audio to play on awake, and I do want it to loop. At this point, the audio source is completely configured, so I'm going to go to my audio mixer window to finish configuring and rigging up the entire audio mixer system. If I were to hit play right now, I would see that the music and sound effects both play. Even though they both play evenly, I find the volume of the background music to be a little overpowering. As such, I'm going to reduce its attenuation down to about -10. The first audio effect I'm going to add is going to be a simple low-pass filter. To add this, I'm going to locate the Music audio group, and then I'm going to click Add at the bottom and choose Low Pass Simple. Now I can click play and find a cutoff frequency that sounds good for this audio group. But before I do that, in order to prevent the enemies from spawning and distracting me from my audio tests, I'm going to go over to the Spawn Points game object and simply disable it by clicking on the checkbox in the upper left hand corner. Now I'm free to make all the testing I want, knowing that enemies aren't going to start swarming around the character. In play mode, you'll remember that in order to change anything, you'll need to click the Edit in Play Mode button. Now, I'm going to move the Low Pass Simple slider until I find a cutoff frequency that I like. I'm going to stick with something close to 365 to 380. Now, we can still hear the background music, but it sounds very subdued, very quiet. This is going to give us the effect we want because the player's attention won't be drawn towards the music, but instead the gameplay. To further emphasize the sound effects of our game, we're also going to add a ducking effect to our game's music. You'll notice when we press play, you'll hear the background music, but when we shoot any of our weapons, the sound is played just on top of the music. We'd really like to duck the music down so the sound effects sound even more powerful and really pop out. As you recall from a previous section, in order to add a ducking effect, we simply need to go to our Music audio group. Then I'm going to click the Add button at the bottom and choose Duck Volume. I can see that it currently says no send sources connected. The send sources are going to come from our Sound Effects audio group. So with the Sound Effects audio group selected, I'm going to click the Add button at the bottom and choose Send. In the inspector, I'm going to choose to send this audio to the music/duck volume. And I'm going to send all of the volume. For the duck volume effect, I already know what properties I like for this project. Feel free to experiment, play around and find something that you like, but for now, I'm simply going to type in the values that sound the best to me. For the threshold, I'm going to change this to -34. For the ratio, or how much to attack, I'm going to go ahead and change the percentage to 785%. I'm going to leave the attack time and the release time the same. I'm also going to leave the makeup gain, knee, and sidechain mix. At this point, our duck volume effect should be ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and click play to test it out. We can see that when I fire the lightning weapon, the volume for the music audio group ducks down pretty significantly. This has the added effect of making the sound effect of the lightning attack really pop and stand out. Let's try the audio again, this time with the enemies spawning. Before I click play, it's worth noting that the audio is now fully implemented into the Zombie Toys project. I'm going to click play and let's see what we've accomplished. The game certainly feels a lot more complete now that we have all of our audio effects and background music in place.